So yeah, I understand. I agree with her. Sometimes you need to step back and begin to reevaluate. You know, the Apostle Paul keeps saying you should keep examining yourself to make sure you're in the faith.
Okay, if God that knows that I did not sell will tell them to suspend me, okay, maybe I'm not paying the tithe again.
Leaders are used to having sheeple around them. You know what I mean by sheeple? Sheep people. Many people don't like to think independently. Said it was Christ. Go ahead, Ife.
No, yeah, I think that when I got there, it was cool. But I've said to myself, because my mom was very close to me, so I knew if it was something for me, my mom would have come true. You know, but I was waiting. There was nothing. So I just said to myself, okay, that's fine. And I told my friend, thank you. But really, it just gave me a different, one thing I took away is that my mom might be dead, but she's still around me. Like, she still sees me. I may not be able to see her, you know, and then all I need to do is just pretend she's still here and then do the things that she ordinarily would want me to do. Because, oh my God, my mom was such a great, like I keep saying it, I've never seen a better Christian than my mom. When it comes to selflessness, kindness, forgiveness, my mom walked in extravagant love. You know, so and that's why I felt bad. I was like, with all of this, to what end? Like, why? But it's fine. We heal every day, you know, and yeah, I'm going to stay off it. And that's just the thing. Like we said, when you have this quest for knowledge, if you're not careful, you're going to sleep. You know, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you just have to. Everything has to be done in moderation. You know, just take it easy. Know where you're going to. Don't. Like you said, you already have it. Why do you want to go deeper? Why, you know?
Right.
So just stay where you are, what you know now. Study more on that, so you will not be like jack of all trade, master of none. Perfect what you know already, you know, and then it will just fall in place. Like I said, progressive elaboration, progressive revelation. Yeah. Thank you for the advice. I will stay away.
Yeah, please. So if you can, the environment here is generally safe, right? In just about every respect,
Yeah.
and the community is brilliant. I think it is, you know. So when you have the time, come around, right? Just have a community. You know, it helps to have a community like that, especially
Yeah.
with spirituality related guidance in this kind of moment. We have a commitment to be here every single day. Okay, yeah.
What
So
time?
10 o'clock every time. I told you yesterday. 10 a.m. every day, UK time, by the way. Which I think the times are flipping in March. Is it March or
Oh yeah.
April? March,
I have some. I
right?
think April or so.
Thereabouts. So we are here 10 o'clock UK time, GMT, every single day in the morning. Okay. So when you have the time, your Sunday, whatever time it is, come around. That community, I think it helps a lot when you just listen
Oh
out,
yeah,
you
sure.
talk out
I'm sure.
whenever you're
Sure.
free. So if you're going to a church, you don't need to stop that necessarily, of course, except there's some
Oh no,
extreme
no, no.
stuff.
You see, the funny thing, it's not even about you. Like,
Mhm.
honestly, for a long time, like before now, even my mom was like, "What's up? You are not going to church?" I just tell her, "Mom, don't worry, I'm online."
Okay.
I just started seeing everything as dead works at some point for
Oh,
some time now. And then okay, first of all, some years ago in Nigeria, my pastor, there was a church I was attending, I'm not mentioning,
yeah.
the pastor. So I really love, like I said, I wanted to know God. Like, most people even know me. I think I lost that account on Facebook. They were like, oh, if you are that Jesus girl, I was crazy. I was Christocentric. Jesus everywhere. So, but the church I was attending was more of a fall and die church, in the sense
Okay.
that they preach deliverance. They will tell you, um, it's
You
not
got
only
some
about what
spirit.
Jesus did, though. You need deliverance. But I started attending a Bible school, Rema, where they were teaching us just grace. They'll tell you the
Okay. Oh
Jesus
yeah, yeah.
plus
You jumped
nothing.
on the grace thing a lot
Yeah, so
more.
I love the grace message. So every time I taught in church as a leader, my pastor would take the microphone and say, "Don't listen to her." You know, at some point he called me and started telling me that he has noticed that I'm teaching people wrong message, because people now started learning how to pray, because I started teaching them that just rest on the finished work of Christ. And then he started saying, "Oh, I'm making people now not take him seriously because he was like the main guy." So I started having the issues. But exactly. So I then chilled. I calmed down. Then again, we had a workers' meeting one time, and then he said, "I mind you, my family is Catholic. I'm the only one that left. So everybody in my family, they be saying, if you what you are looking for one day, you will enter trouble." And then I was graduating from Bible school. None of my family members were there. And we're all in Abuja because they were like, "We didn't send you there." So I was in church, and they said it was a workers' meeting, and then he said the secretary should call out the people who didn't pay tithe for that the previous month, and then I was one of them. Remember, I've been giving. I just didn't. Well, with them it wasn't giving; it was paying. I just didn't pay the previous month because I didn't sell anything, And then he said, "You know what? All of you are suspended." And then we got suspended. Now you're suspending me, and I was the only teenagers teacher. I was the teenagers pastor. So you didn't even consider God's work. Now you said the whole teenagers should move into the main auditorium. They refused. They said because the messages I was teaching them, it was even a big problem. Parents,
you are split church now.
It was so bad that one of my mentors called me one time. I said, if you raise teenagers that can't fit into the main auditorium, that's rebellion. Just leave this place. It's not for you. So the women in the church went to meet the pastor that no, their children are complaining, they don't want to come to church. And then the pastor called me later and said, "I've got too much pride." I said, "Why did you say that, sir?" He said he suspended everybody. Others came to kneel down and beg, but I didn't. I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I was supposed to actually be suspended, just chill till you call it off, And then out of annoyance, I said, "You know what?" Yeah, he said and then he said, "Do not tell anybody this because they will tell you the pastor is this. Don't listen to people." Now, there's a popular man of God on social media. No, I'm not calling his name. That is very controversial. He's my very good friend. He will tell me, "I've told you to leave that place. Now I'm going somewhere." And I said, "Okay, if God that knows that I did not sell will tell them to suspend me, okay, maybe I'm not paying the tithe again." Do you know I didn't pay tithe for months? Guess what? In that period I didn't pay tithe. I changed my car from 2006 to 2014. My business shot to another level, to another realm. So I started saying, there's something wrong with this thing. There's something, that was when I just said, "Oh, church, I beg, church, and scamuna, leave me alone." I just started checking this thing because they'll say, if you don't pay tithe, your life will be tight. If you don't pay tithe, the umbrella is not covering you. I said, that umbrella will leak tire now because I know that was how, and then it got to a point, even till today now, I got my pastors, we're now friends. When they have issues, they will talk as friends. Now, I know they go again.
That's the suspended one, the one that suspended you, right?
Yeah, so I've moved. That was years ago. So it's not now, like you said, I'm not in church. Once in a while, if I want to, I go. If I don't want to, I don't. There's no pressure to perform because I know I carry God on my inside. So it's not about that I do not go does not change who I am. I went there to mark register. I cannot just be doing that if I'm tired, I'm tired. So that's what it is. So I'm at home. So you saying, "Oh, I don't need to stop." Don't worry yourself. I don't first slow down by myself. Yeah, that's it.
That's nice to know. That's great to know. So this is what I would say, right? It's good for us to know God for ourselves. It's at the best, we're just here to guide. Even any pastor, at the end of the day, is just for guidance. But there's that temptation, right? Leaders are used to having sheeple around them. You know what I mean by sheeple? Sheep people. Many people don't like to think independently. So, and I mean, trust me, whenever you're having, in this world, this thing like we're doing is still going to be viral. Well, it's a viral already, but it's still going to grow a lot bigger. I can see that, I can tell. But by the time you're having 1 billion followers, 10 million followers, many of them are not thinking, right? With due respect, I don't disrespect people, but human beings are not like that. People like trends, right? People like, just because my sister is going to a nice, I like that church, their AC is nice. If we end up having something physical, like we're having a conference, they will just have, I just like something, and that's the reason. But that's the level God can deal with them, You understand? So I think the leaders get used to those kind of people and all that, and they get tempted. A lot of things happen, and they end up that way. You see, so it's not that easy to lead people actually in many different ways, right? So and again, it's only your own side of the story we heard. We don't know whether you say you are Akataka. You know what they call Akataka in Igbo. Yeah, this one you're already in the north, so I don't know if you speak Igbo. If you do speak Igbo, you're muted. You did laugh. So we only heard one part of your story.
Oh, sorry.
which
Yeah,
is fine.
I speak Igbo. I speak Hausa. Though Hausa is my primary language because I was born in Abuja. So I and my siblings we
Wow.
speak Hausa better than. But yeah, I speak Igbo. I'm from Delta State, so I speak
Wow.
Inuani, my dialect. I speak Central Igbo, and I'm learning Yoruba now. Don't worry.
Good. So like I was trying
No,
to say,
seriously, no, I don't have Agidi. I have, but not in that way. Relax.
you know, so like I was saying, it's just like when you are trying to do marriage counseling or things like that, you only hear one side of the story. So, but then at the end of the day, it's you get to know people over time. But it's fine. But I think you need time to heal first from all of that, especially the mom situation. So I was just trying to say that it's good to come around, in a if that helps, and we talk in this community and things like that. So Choma, behold your sister.
So I'm listening because she's reminding me of the same thing that happened to me in uni. I had to, something similar because they say my own is too much. So they had to cut me down to size. I was the female pastor and they were like, no, you're a rebellion leader actually. So out you go. So I had to step away from church for like a year and read the Bible for myself because it felt like I was in a cult. So as she was talking, I could totally feel her. So I had to sit down and read the Bible for myself because it almost felt like I didn't know what they were talking about, what this Jesus was again, So I understand. I agree with her. Sometimes you need to step back and begin to reevaluate. The Apostle Paul keeps saying you should keep examining yourself to make sure you're in the faith, right? Because we can be following traditions of men and not realize that we've actually drifted away from what we're supposed to do. So if you're my sister, I feel you. It's all well. You'll be good.
It's true. It's
Thank
true.
you, Sissy. Thank you so much.
It's true. Like you said, it's just for her to, it's okay to feel how she's feeling, but she'll get over it. I know she will find. It's always like that. I know she will be very fine. And again, like I told you, Minister, there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people even in church. It's just because they don't have any other alternative to move. You get it. Some people can't muzzle the courage to just stay away. You get it. Otherwise, many people will not go. This is the last time I was regular in church was in 2022 or the 2021. You get it. This is almost like 4 years or thereabout. If I could just go, maybe invite me for an event or activity, I just go. But to just dress up and say, okay, I'm going to church for service, or no. And coming from somebody that I can count in a year the number of times I miss church, and meeting the church that I can't count and tell you how number of times I went to church late. You get it? Not even to attend church late. You are there almost on a daily basis and for a whole period. You get it to the point where you are almost like 3 years. You can't say, okay. People will ask you now, because they need to hear you. You can't even tell them that no, you are just trying to find yourself. They'll tell you have to want to tell them, okay, just the denomination they know you with. You just mention and say, okay, yes, are you still there? No, I'm not there. Where are you? I'm just on my own. So people look at you strangely. So sometimes
They're not okay.
Just not to waste your time trying to do too many explanations. Okay, yes, I'm here, and just move on, because it's questions on questions again. But I get it, and I get where you become very inquisitive, you become more knowledgeable, and then you want to express yourself, and people begin to feel that you are trying to take the shine off them. You are trying to take the shine off them, and so they try to push you down, try to marginalize you, try to make sure they silence you. All of those kind of things are there. So we've been there and we understand it. So, but that's why I said she should definitely get out. But it's good to just retreat and get to find yourself and here. But like you said, here is a very good place for you to be. You will not believe how I got to even know about that Kunle. One of the days, after I've stayed, is this year. I think sometimes in
Last year, you mean?
I think last year. Yeah, last year.
25.
Last year, sometimes around, I think October or thereabout also. A friend of mine who knows me, who sometimes I just share a few of my thoughts from scripture with him. So we're just talking about something, and I said, there's this guy that I think you would like. So he just gave me a snippet of when you're talking about Dudua, and he said, this guy talks and he has receipts, And I say, okay, I want to, let me have to know about that guy. Because he too has a little bit of trying to get deep into the flat earth stuff and all of that. So sometimes I have this discussion with him. So one of those days, in fact, I was at the airport. Some people came to work with us, so we escorted them to the airport. So they were about to take their flight. So we got talking, and it was from there he just said, so I said, just share the stuff with me. So he just sent me the flyer. Today he said, you have gone far. To this point that this guy knows your name. I said, see, you don't know what that connection did to me.
So you said, don't pass him now.
Yeah, I said, don't know what that.
Yeah,
I
what you
don't know
said
what that
now.
connection did to me. Yeah.
Sorry, what you said now is just really funny because there was this guy, he's from my place. He was so cool. He was like, he said, if I want to marry you, but he was more into these things. Well, I was a Jesus girl, and I told him we couldn't be. I saw him as a rebel. So he was the one that started teaching me most of the things I knew. He was like, if you go and study for yourself, I'll say no. So I shared this live with him. So anyway, we just broke up, but we're still friends. I shared this live with him, and his reply now was like, I'm so happy that if his eyes now open, like, because he was so
The guy
bad
don't
at
go marry. Don't go with that to guy. Men don't get time now. I mean, don't go.
it was funny because he used to tell me that one day, he said, with your intelligence, one day your eyes will be opened. I was like, I used to rebuke him. I was like, devil, get deep behind me. He was the one that was teaching me that, listen, he said, there is Jesus, but it's not the Jesus it's not the picture you have in your head. I'm not saying there's, but I just didn't understand him until now. And then I shared this live. First of all, it was a video I sent to him. He was like, oh, give me the page. I gave him. And then now there's live. I said, join this live. And then I don't know, I think he watched a little and then he just sent me a message and he was like, oh my God, Ify, I'm so happy your eyes are opened, Sometimes people we just need to put it out there, because when he was telling me these things, it was a seed he was sowing. Even though I wasn't paying attention then, but somehow this is me now here, and then it's all making sense. So sometimes the people we're talking to, they will resist it. But the truth is persistence weighs down resistance.
Right?
So that's what we just have to
Say
keep.
that again.
Yeah,
Persistence.
Weighs down resistance. You know how the Bible said, if the woman keeps begging the king, even if he doesn't want to give, because he wants peace of mind, auntie, carry and go. So that's,
exactly.
if you persist, it's going to weigh down every, resistance. That's what it is. Yeah.
That's true. So this thing is spiritual. What is happening? You can tell. Those that know how to sense things, they can sense it. I don't need to act as if I'm patronizing people. That's why I don't try to advertise so much. Look as if I don't like, because myself, I don't like to patronize myself. So as if, hey, come, this place is. When you see it yourself. It's not me that will start disturbing and start marketing something. Like if I'm selling ice cream or pop-off. So I just let people see, and that's the best you can do. So these things are spiritual, and you see things linking, people linking. It's wonderful what is going on. It's really wonderful, real time.